Today I'm excited to share with you how to easily recreate some of Japan's most popular regional ramen dishes right in your own kitchen. To kick things off, let's travel to the eastern region of Japan and delve into the world of Sano Ramen. Originating from the city of Sano in Tochigi Prefecture, Sano Ramen is a nationwide sensation renowned for its simple yet flavorful soy sauce bowls. Traditionally, the toppings are kept classic with just chashu and green onion, so I prepared some green onion to add that extra touch of freshness. In the authentic Sano Ramen, they often use the thick fourth part of the green onion. However, I have some leftover thin green onion from making takoyaki, so I'll be using those instead. The defining characteristic of Sano Ramen lies in its noodles, made from high-quality wheat flour kneaded with water from a nearby hot spring lake in Tochigi. These noodles are crafted using a traditional technique called aodakeuchi, where they are stretched over bamboo poles. This method results in noodles with an abundance of air bubbles, allowing for quick cooking, exceptional springiness, and a smooth, silky texture. Prepare a generous amount of boiling water. Add the noodles and give them a good stir. Remember, if the water isn't fully boiling, the noodles won't cook through properly. Follow the package instruction for cooking time. I cooked mine for 3 minutes. Once cooked, drain the noodles and rinse them with cold water. Make sure to rinse thoroughly to remove any excess flour from the noodles. While I'm using ramen noodles purchased from a Tokyo supermarket today, slightly different from the authentic flat curry noodles, I've managed to recreate a soup that rivals the flavor of any ramen shop thanks to a clever trick. Let's get started on the soup, beginning with a single serving. First, add some soy sauce. Next, a pinch of salt. Generously pour in the sake. Now it's time for the chicken stock powder. I'm using my favorite brand Shantan, but feel free to use your preferred chicken stock. To truly capture the essence of Sano Ramen at home, I've employed a secret ingredient using 2 types of dashi powder. Here's the katsuobushi Bonito dashi powder, and here is the Kombu dashi powder. Each of these powder brings forth unique umami flavors. By combining them, we are not just adding umami, we are multiplying it. Gently combine the seasonings in the pot and bring to a light simmer. While we could add the noodles directly to the soup pot, let's emulate the ramen shop experience and add some oil to the serving bowl. Vegetable oil is perfectly fine, but at my house, we are all about clear sesame oil, so that's what I'll be using. Avoid using dark sesame oil, as its strong flavor might overpower the dish. I'm adding about 2 teaspoons, but a tablespoon would also work well. This touch of oil adds an extra layer of restaurant quality authenticity to our ramen. Just before serving, bring the ramen soup back to a simmer and pour it into the bowl. Carefully add the noodles. Here we have the Menma, seasoned bamboo shoot. For the chashu, I'll be using some store-bought today. For a recipe on how to make homemade chashu, check out the link in the description box below, where I shared another ramen recipe. Finally, top with green onion and naruto. And your Sano Ramen masterpiece is complete. Next up, let's venture to the southern region of Japan for a fiery culinary adventure. We are about to embark on a taste of Miyazaki Ramen, a spicy noodle dish originating from Nobeoka City in Miyazaki Prefecture. Ramen aptly translates to spicy noodles, and this dish certainly lives up to its name. The key characteristics of Miyazaki Ramen lie in its unique konjac noodles made from a blend of buckwheat and wheat flour, resulting in a distinctive texture. The noodles are accompanied by a rich red soup infused with an abundance of chili pepper and garlic, creating a flavorful and intensely spicy experience. To complete the culinary symphony, generous portion of chives and ground meat are added, along with a swirl of beaten egg that helps balance the heat, resulting in a dish that's spicy but still satisfying. For this particular rendition, we'll be using regular ramen noodles instead of the authentic konjac noodles found in Miyazaki. However, we won't skimp on the chives and garlic, which are essential ingredients for this dish. Feel free to add more chives and garlic to your liking. You can either finely chop or mince the garlic. As for the meat, ground pork is the recommended choice. We'll use about 60 grams per serving. Let's start by marinating the meat. Add sake and soy sauce to the pork and mix thoroughly. Since we'll be adding garlic to the soup later, we'll incorporate it into the meat mixture as well. Now it's time to prepare the ramen soup. In the pot, combine water and chicken stock powder. Add soy sauce, ensuring an equal amount compared to the chicken stock powder, unlike the previous recipe. Cover the pot and bring the mixture to a boil. Crack an egg and whisk it until well combined, setting it aside for later use. Once the soup is boiling, add the marinated pork and garlic. Stir well as the ground pork cooks quickly. If necessary, skim off any foam that forms on the surface. After the pork is cooked through, add the chives. Simmer for about 30 seconds. Since adding the chives may slightly lower the soup temperature, reheat it until it reaches full boil. Now comes the egg magic. Pour the beaten egg into the vigorously boiling soup. This method ensures that the egg cooks evenly and softly without clouding the broth. Once the egg is set to your liking, turn off the heat. Finally, add chili powder and stir to combine. I'm using Korean chili powder, which is not too spicy, so I've added about a teaspoon. Authentic Miyazaki ramen often features a bright red soup, but since I'm not a fan of extremely spicy food, I've toned down the heat level. However, feel free to adjust the chili powder quantity to your preferred spice tolerance. Assemble your Miyazaki ramen masterpiece by transferring the soup and noodles to a serving bowl. Finish with a sprinkle of chili powder on top, adding a touch of visual and flavorful flair. Let's embark on a culinary journey to the northern region of Japan, where the flavor of Sapporo Miso Ramen awaits. Miso ramen has become a staple in Japanese cuisine, enjoyed nationwide. This savory miso-based ramen is said to have originated in Sapporo, Hokkaido. Let's begin by preparing the soup. In a pot, add ground pork and chopped green onion. Next, add grated ginger, minced garlic, and doenjang. Pour a little sesame oil. This is normal dark color one. Stir well and cook until the meat changes color. According to one account, the idea for Sapporo Miso Ramen sparked in 1955 when the owner of a ramen shop named Ajino Sanpei pondered, what if I made ramen soup with miso? The good news is that you don't need to travel to Hokkaido to savor a delicious bowl of miso ramen. With this recipe, you can recreate the authentic flavors right in your own kitchen. I came across an interesting anecdote online that suggests the inspiration for miso ramen originated from a customer's request to put noodles in miso soup. However, the owner of the aforementioned ramen shop vehemently denied this claim. After all, noodles in miso soup alone might not be the most appealing dish, right? Once the meat is cooked through, add water to the pot. Follow with chicken stock powder and miso paste. For a more complex umami flavor, consider blending different types of miso. Of course, using a single type is perfectly fine as well. Since miso can be difficult to dissolve, it's helpful to first melt it on the ladle before mixing it into the soup. Additionally, add mirin, soy sauce, and a pinch of dashi powder. Stir well and your soup is ready. While the soup simmers, cook the noodles in a separate pot. Reheat the soup thoroughly just before serving. Transfer the hot soup to a serving bowl. Add the cooked noodles and top with your favorite toppings. In Japan, corn and butter are classic miso ramen toppings. I had intended to include bean sprouts today, but completely forgot about them. The meat from the soup adds a savory touch. The sweetness of the corn perfectly complements the miso flavor. First, savor the pure miso soup without melting the butter. Then indulge in the rich miso butter flavor by melting the butter in the soup. It's an absolute delight! Last but not least, let's venture to the western region of Japan to discover the flavor of Saika Ramen. Saika Ramen is a ramen dish developed by a chain store headquartered in Tenri City, Nara Prefecture. Nara is located just below Kyoto. This ramen is characterized by its generous amount of vegetable, primarily napa cabbage. The flavor profile is a spicy soy sauce base with a generous amount of garlic. In addition to napa cabbage, we will be using carrots and chives. For the meat, I highly recommend using pork belly. Authentic Saika Ramen is said to use a broth made from pork bones and chicken bones. However, pork bone broth can be difficult to find and time-consuming to make. So let's at least use pork belly to infuse the soup with the delicious savory fat of pork. Season the pork belly with salt and pepper and sake to remove any unwanted smells. By the way, this ramen is called Saika Ramen, and the character Sai in the name is the same as one of the characters in my name, so I feel a certain affinity for it. Once the pork belly is cooked through, add the vegetables. While stir-frying the vegetable in a generous amount of oil to yield a more flavorful result, we'll use a bit less oil here, since the pork belly is already quite fatty. I'm sure they use more oil at the restaurant. After the vegetables have softened slightly, add water to the pot. follow with chicken stock powder and soy sauce. Since this ramen is known for its spiciness, add doubanjan. And don't forget the garlic. You could even add more garlic for an extra punch of flavor. Mix well and simmer until the napa cabbage is tender. About 30 seconds before turning off the heat, add the chives. The chives complement the garlic flavor, so even if you use less garlic, adding plenty of chives will create a flavorful and impactful soup. Just like in the first recipe, add a small amount of oil to the ramen bowl. Transfer the soup and toppings to the bowl. And then add the noodles. It can be challenging to incorporate enough vegetables into our diet when making ramen, but this recipe is packed with them, making it a great choice for a nutritious meal. Finally, drizzle with ryu and your Saika Ramen masterpiece is complete. Which of these regional ramen dishes would you love to try? There are countless ramen variations across Japan, so I'll be sure to share more recipes in the future. In the meantime, I encourage you to give these recipes a try and create your own ramen adventure right in your own kitchen. Thank you so much for watching our video. Please subscribe to our channel. If you are already a subscriber and would like to support our channel, please join our membership. Membership feedback will be reflected in content creation. See you in the next video.